Welcome all the students of class 10, parents, teachers and other viewers. You are now in the social studies class and we also have a student with us in the studio. Please introduce yourself.
Hello, I am Rahul. I am from New Delhi Modern International School in class 10th.
You are aware that social science constitute many subjects: economics, history, geography, political science, sociology, business studies and many others. Among all the subjects, economics is an important subject. This subject is introduced in class 6 in some simple rudimentary form. In classes 9th and 10th, some of the important concepts that we come across in our daily lives are introduced. In the previous class, we familiarized you with the concept of development. Some important points that emerge from the previous session are that every person, village, a country has some developmental goals. The idea of development may not be same for everyone, it may vary from person to person. Sometimes the concept of development also conflicting. We also explained how it become a conflict actually. Thirdly, people earn some incomes. So, the income earned by people, if you all pool together in a particular locality or a country, that constitute income of the whole country. We also talked about this total income of the country can be considered as one of the indicators of development. And the countries, if you pull together all the incomes earned by the people in a country, that constitutes total income of that country. Usually, the World Bank, an international organization, collects the data about total income of countries, many countries, and provide in its publication called World Development Indicators. These indicators contain many indicators, among which we are going to discuss about total income of a country. You also have seen that in our slide many aspects related to development, and we also looked at how World Bank classifies countries into three. All those countries whose per capita income crosses above $12,056, they are considered as developed countries, and those who are between $12,056 and $955, they are considered as middle income countries, and those countries which are earning income below $955, they are considered as low income countries. We also know that India belongs to which category?
Middle income.
Middle income, very good. So, these are some of the issues. We also looked at the world map, how the world map you also draw.
Yes.
I pointed out what are the, if you look at the slide and you looked at, like you also colored some important countries and their GDP per capita. Okay. Now, we also have to see how income can be considered as indicator of development. Do you think that we also looked at what is the difference between the total income and the average income? How average income is calculated and how total income is calculated. You also showed us yesterday that what is the total income of 5 imaginary, like a country contains 5 imaginary people. So, do you think that the total or average income alone is sufficient to measure the development of a country?
No, I don't think so that total or average income is sufficient to measure the development of a country, because the total or average income cannot tell how the people in a country are surviving.
Yeah.
It does not show whether the healthcare or the medical facilities of a country are good, and at times both the countries can have the average income and the total income as the same, but it does not tell about the particular income of a person.
So, it does not tell you about the distribution of income, how the income is distributed across different citizens.
Yes.
So, there are some countries in which the total income is relatively very high, or even the average income is also very high, but that does not tell you how the income is distributed across many families, many individuals. So, the income alone may not be a total income or average income. In technical terms, per capita income alone is not sufficient to measure the development of a country. In this session, we are going to see this total income in a critical sense and why we have to go beyond total income as a development indicator. Okay. So, look at this table. This table contains the income and other development indicators of different states.
Yes.
So, if you look at the table, this table contains 6 states: Haryana, Kerala, Bihar, Tamil Nadu, Gujarat, Odisha. If you look at the second column, it contains the data on infant mortality ratio. This means how many children are able to survive out of 1000 children born. If you look at the infant mortality ratio in say Haryana, it is 30.
Yes.
The national average is 33. The third column gives you the per capita income of different states. Okay. The technical term for this is that state per capita state domestic product. So, do not worry, at this stage you will come to know the details, technical details of this concept in a higher class. Right now you consider as this is an average income of a state, every state. And the third concept is the net attendance ratio. What is this net attendance ratio? We know that in India many children are going to school, attending schools, enrolling themselves in the school, but does not mean that they are all studying there, they are all attending there. Okay. Many times children get enrolled, but they do not go to school, they do not attend the school. Unless children are attending the school, it may not result in learning actually. Yes. So, this is the important concept, net attendance ratio. How many children are attending, particularly this table is given here is about for class 10, 9th and 10th students. So, how many students attending the classroom on a regular basis in a whole year. So, if you look at the national level data shows that out of 100 children who are studying in class 9th and 10th, only 58 are attending regularly. Yes. The rest, how many rest of them? 42. 42. So, the 42 students are not attending the classes regularly. If you look at the income, so you will find that like the highest per capita income is from Haryana.
Yes.
Okay. So, Haryana is having highest income almost like if you look at 1,80,000 rupees. So, which is the second highest income?
Kerala.
Kerala. Okay. But if you look at the Kerala's infant mortality ratio, how much is the Kerala's infant mortality ratio?
10.
It's 10. Whereas the income level is, it is lesser than Haryana,
Yes.
but the infant mortality ratio, how many children survive, it is relatively high in Haryana. Like how many, it is very, very high in, that means out of 1000 children, only 10 children are dying before they cross the first birthday. Okay. In Haryana, out of 1000 children born, about 30 are dying. So, it is very high.
Yes.
So, this indicator shows that the income may be very high in Haryana, yes, but they are not ensuring the health facilities. So, if you look at the other states also, if you look at the attendance ratio, the Kerala, the income may be little less, whereas the 77 children are attending schools regularly compared to say Haryana, where only 63 students are attending. The schooling is better in Kerala and the education health facility is also better in Kerala, but income may be low. Okay, but there are some states where all of the three indicators are very poor. Let us take Bihar. If you look at the Bihar's per capita income is, it's almost 34,400 rupees. This means 1/6 of the income of Haryana.
Yes, sir.
Okay. If you look at all India per capita income, why I am telling you this, because you are in class 10. Okay, you need to understand what is meant by a data, how to analyze data, how to look the data very carefully, interpret data. This is the interpretation skill you are expected to require, and this will be required for your higher studies also. When you go to higher studies also, how to look at the data, how to interpret the data. That is why I am explaining to you. So, if you look at the Tamil Nadu is also lesser per capita income, and if you look at the infant mortality rate, it is better, it is almost second to Kerala.
Yeah.
Okay. So, out of 1000 children born in Tamil Nadu, only 16 children die before they cross the first birthday. Okay. Similarly, if you look at the attendance ratio also, it is better than Haryana, 67. It is not better than Kerala, but it is better than Haryana. If you look at the Gujarat is also having low per capita income, but in terms of health indicator, Gujarat is equivalent to Haryana. It is not doing better because 30 children die actually before they cross age 1 actually. And Odisha, the situation is relatively slightly better than say in terms of income, it is better than Bihar because it is having the per capita income of 74,200. Yeah. Whereas if you look at the infant mortality ratio, highest it is far higher than national average also. The national average is 23 infant mortality rate of national average. This data is meant for the year 2017-18, just 2 years before. So if you look at the attendance ratio, it is also more or less equivalent to Tamil Nadu. Okay, but it is better than the national level actually. So if you look at income alone, you may not be able to understand, like you may not be able to get the real picture of the development.
Yes.
So you also have to look at the health, you also have to look at the schooling facilities. Okay, so why this is happening? What could be one of the reasons? Can you say that why it could be the reasons? Why some states are if you like ask me why this is happening, it's because some states provide a better health facilities. In Kerala also, during the corona period in the last 3-4 months, you found that the Kerala is one of the states where the number of deaths, number of people affected is relatively far below than many other states. Okay, Kerala is also performing much better than other states in terms of health and education facilities. There is a universal literacy level in Kerala. That is one of the reasons why the development indicators are showing better in Kerala.
Yes.
And if you look at the public distribution system, in many states the public distribution system does not work well actually, where the public distribution system is is ensuring food security for the people of India.
Yes.
Okay, so wherever the public distribution functions well, you find the level of malnutrition is relatively less. Okay, so it is important that the schools are functioning in the state. It is important that the health facilities are available in the state. If they are available, the development indicators also will be better in those states. So if you look at the development, if you look at the indicators of development, income alone is not sufficient. You also require other facilities. You also require a better public distribution system. You also require other infrastructure facilities also. Okay, let me move on to the other issues actually. If you look at the, this is the development indicator for the state level. You may be interested in how at the national level or international level, how countries are compared. Is it possible? We have already seen the per capita income of the countries, major countries. Okay, and countries also be requiring other development indicators. So the one major source for that comparing countries in terms of other development indicators other than income is that Human Development Report. This Human Development Report is published by the United Nations Development Program, which is a wing of the United Nations. They come out with the report every year measuring variety of development indicators, okay, ranging from income, health, education, democracy, participation of people in various economic activities and so on. They come out with the report, and what I give you is it's a table and the data for the Asian states. Okay, so can you show me what are the countries you have drawn a map? You have must have, yeah, it's here. So these are the Asian countries. Now you have colored this map.
Yes.
Okay, so you can see these Asian countries and the data. If you look at the data in the slide, you can see the comparison of how many countries? 6 countries. Okay, in 6 countries we are comparing the indicators of development. 3 indicators we are comparing.
Yes.
What is the first indicator? First indicator is
income.
per capita income. Very good. The second indicator?
Life expectancy.
Life expectancy. Life expectancy means how many years people are able to live. Okay, that means if there is a data on like Sri Lanka, in Sri Lanka, on an average, people are living for 76 years, 75.5 years. Whereas in India, people are able to live for 68.8 years. Okay, it is lower than Sri Lanka. If you look at Nepal, 70.6 years. So almost 71 years people are able to live longer actually. So people are living longer in many countries. And if you look at the per capita income here, look at the per capita income of India. India is 6,353. Okay, and if you look at the Myanmar, it is 567. If you look at Nepal, see, look at the Nepal figures. The Nepal figure is that per capita income is very low, 2,471 per PPP dollars. Okay, don't worry about this PPP dollars. It's basically you take it as a per capita income of the state or the country actually. So it is having the lowest per capita income. But if you look at the life expectancy, what is the life expectancy? Almost 71. It is higher than say India. it is higher than, say, it is Pakistan, it is higher than the Myanmar actually. If you look at another country in South Asia, the Bangladesh. Bangladesh is having a per capita income only $3,677, whereas Bangladesh people are living for 73 years, much more than 5 years, almost five years more than India's figures actually. Okay. So, the India may be having higher income than Nepal, Bangladesh, but it is not able to ensure the people's life. People are not able to live longer compared to those countries actually. If you look at the mean years of schooling means how many years people have gone to school, particularly the adults, those who are aged 25 and above. Okay. So, this is a estimate, these are all estimated by the United Nations Development Program by using many mathematical calculations. So, if you look at the mean years of schooling, you will find the highest mean years of schooling is in Sri Lanka. In Sri Lanka, almost 11 years average, that means every adult has studied up to 11 years. Yeah. Okay. Whereas the lowest figure you get it where? In Nepal. In Nepal only it is 4.9 years, 5 years only. That means the literacy level is very low in Nepal. Yes. Okay. It is relatively high in Sri Lanka and it is slightly better in India. Okay. If you look at the human development rank of many countries, India's rank is 130. Okay. If you look at last 10 years time, India's rank has increased from 135 to 130. This is based on the estimation for some 200 countries. Out of 200 countries, India's ranking is 130 actually. But what is the Sri Lanka's rank? It is 76. It is far better, almost double. Yeah. That is also because people are able to live longer. So, education index is very much better in Sri Lanka. The health indicator also, like they are able to live for almost 76 years. The country is giving health and education infrastructure much better than other South Asian like countries actually. Okay. So, if you want to see the comparison of countries also, like you can look at the Human Development Report. Then this you have already done that coloring activity, and as a student you can also do a coloring activity. Why this activity that we are suggesting you, that whenever you sit in the class, you discuss with your parents and just collect the or buy some maps of Asia map and do this coloring. If you look at in the slide, you can see the Asia outline map. So, take at the Asia political outline map and then you color these nations actually. So, if you do color the nations and you will be observing many countries, okay, then you can locate those countries. So, you will also develop the knowledge of countries location if you are doing this coloring activity. That is the you also have realized by coloring this world map and Asia map?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, you tell me like do you have any doubts in this session or in the previous session?
Yes, sir. I have a doubt. Yesterday you mentioned about one term, gross domestic product. What does that mean?
See, the gross domestic product which we are going to study in the next chapter, it is basically the total value of goods and services produced in a country by its citizens, okay, or any other citizens also. But in terms of production, it is the goods and services produced in a country by during the particular year, say generally if you look at the financial year is calculated from April to March. Okay. So, the GDP is also shown as the income of a country. Okay. So, next any other question you have?
One more doubt. You mentioned that we should be careful while making a judgment on total income or average income. Why so?
See, you have already seen that if you look at the example of the chart that we have seen, you have calculated the total income. You see, you have calculated the total income of the country, imaginary country A. So, you also calculated total income as 50,000. Okay. If you look at the country B, you also calculated the total income. This is also 50,000. This country's total income is also 50,000. This country's income is also 50,000. But if you look at the so both are same by if you look at casually. Okay. Yeah. But if you look at the average also, see the average also, how much was the average? 10,000 rupees. So, both the countries are having average of 10,000 also. But if you look at the income of individual people, for example, here all the 5 citizens are earning around 9,000 to 10,000 rupees. Yes. Whereas here 4 people are earning 500 rupees only, but only one person is having 48,000 rupees. Okay. See, this 48,000, the person who is earning 48,000 can have better facilities, all the like infrastructure. Okay. But the person who is earning 500 rupees, how he will survive actually?
Yes.
So the total income and the average income, they are also showing same in both the countries. But who will be better? People living in country A or country B?
Country A.
Country A. Why? Why? Because all the people are earning relatively similar amount of average income, higher average income. But here, one person is earning highest income, the rest of the citizens are earning very lowest income actually. That is why the total averages do not tell you the real picture actually. Okay. Now we are coming to the end of this session. We will look at one calculation of body mass index. Okay. So the body mass index is an as a health indicator. If you calculate the indicator, like if you look at the people's level of nutrition,
Yes.
it's you can come to know how the health situation is performing in a country. For example, body mass index is used as an important health indicator. How it is calculated? Weight in kilograms divided by height in terms of meters. Okay. We will learn more about in the next session also, but I will tell you briefly that when you get time, please calculate the body mass index of your family members. Okay. In the next session, briefly we will talk about it actually. Okay. So today we looked at in this session why income alone is not sufficient. We also looked at some of the indicators of development in terms of education, health of many states, and also we looked at some of the important countries in South Asia, and we come to know that income indicator alone is not showing the real development. There are some states or some countries which are having better life expectancy, better health indicator, but they may not be having higher income actually. And there are some countries, some states where the literacy level or children attending schools are better, but they may not be having a higher income. Okay. They may be having a low income. So in order to understand development, apart from income, you also have to look at health, education, other infrastructure. Okay. We also looked at the body mass index. We asked the Rahul to calculate the body mass index of his family, and maybe he will bring the results next session. And we will discuss about the body mass index, but we also have to ask this question that is the development path that we are taking up, is it sustainable? So the question of sustainable development also is becoming a very important issue. So we will discuss about the sustainability of development and the body mass index in the next session. And we thank you, Rahul, for participating in this studio.
Welcome,
Thank you.
sir.
Thank you.